Welcome back, everybody. Jumping into the wild card slate with our guys. Will Brinson decided to join us. Thanks, Will. Here with Larry Hartstein, RJ White in studio. It's good to see you.
Blame technology and blame redacted for any air travel issues, I guess is what I'd say.
Well, you missed talking about your Rams squad, but we all were in pretty much agreement they should take care of business this weekend. Let's talk about the Bills and the Jags, a game that's expected to be a lot tighter. Bills laying just a point here on the road, total set at 52. Josh Allen, I said heading into the break, 7 playoff wins without a Super Bowl appearance. That's the most in NFL history, but you would think no Joe Burrow, no Patrick Mahomes, those roadblocks that have stopped him all these years, no Lamar Jackson. He should get it done, Will Brinson, right?
I kind of think the Jaguars and Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence playing the best football of his career, along with a bunch of weapons and a pretty good defense. Like, if you take Josh Allen's obviously better than Trevor Lawrence in a vacuum, but if you take those two guys out of it and agree that Trevor Lawrence is playing at a reasonably comparable level to Josh Allen, the Jaguars just have the better team right now. And they're playing at home. Josh Allen's 0-4 straight up against the spread in road playoff games. Duval County, my family's from Duval County. Believe me, I know these people. That place is going to be rocking for that game. They will be tailgating very early. And I kind of think the Jaguars are going to find a way to get it done. Let's not forget, there are a lot of quarterbacks, young quarterbacks in this bracket on both sides that don't have playoff experience. Trevor Lawrence does, and he's got an incredible comeback against the Chargers a few years ago. So give me the Jaguars for $100 Brinson bucks or whatever we're betting.
We did explain the money at the top, but yeah, basically we're telling you, if you missed it at the top, how confident we are in these plays. We have $1,000 to spread among all these games, so $100 Brinson dollars goes on that game. Larry, I know you're looking at the total. This is the highest total on the board by over a touchdown. Is that why you're going under, or another reason?
Yeah, this total's gotten out of control because you look at this Jags, they have a great pass offense with all these weapons, but the Bills allow the fewest passing yards in the entire NFL. And then you look at the Bills, a devastating run game led by James Cook. Well, Jacksonville allows the fewest rushing yards in the game. So each team is uniquely suited to challenge what the other ones does. I think there's going to be points, but 52.5 is way too high. The Bills are a slow-paced team. If it's a neutral game situation, which I think this game will be close, they're 24th in pace, so they're not in a rush. I'm going to take 100 of my Brinson bucks and go under 52.5.
Oh, so Will's just actually supplying all of us the $1,000? Thank you, Will.
No.
RJ, free roll with Brinson's dollars. Where are you taking it?
If I'm going to play Brinson's bucks, I'm going to be on Brinson's side, and I'm going to play the Jaguars +1 as well. 150 on that for me. Only playing the game right now because, Buffalo depends on that run offense, but as you said, Jacksonville has a strong rush defense. In their 4 losses, they only allowed 81.7 yards per game, so it's not like they were getting run all over in the games that they lost either. Buffalo's injuries on both sides of the ball matter. Josh Allen is supposed to be practicing in full on Wednesday with that foot injury. So maybe it's not an issue moving forward, but maybe it is. And I think that the way the line is set up, he has to be Superman, right, to carry this team. And they're expecting full health. They're expecting the Josh Allen we know and love to show up. And anything goes wrong, I don't think they're going to win this game. And even if he is Superman, Jacksonville's averaged 32.8 points in the 10 games since the bye. So it might not be enough. Jacksonville just might be the better team here. So love the Jaguars here +1. Maybe it's my eternal Bills pessimism, which comes in every year it seems like. But I just think the Jaguars are the better team here.
Well, the Jags are the team in the NFL right now, picking up all of the momentum, 8 straight wins. Not only their offense high-flying, beating up everybody through the air, their run game is questionable at times, but their defense, one of the best. You just talked about their run defense. They didn't allow a single 75-yard rusher all season long. One of the best at limiting explosive plays, the second most takeaways. So, I will back the Jags in this spot. I love Josh Allen year after year. It's impressive that he got his team to this point, but he does have to play hero ball, and he's going to have to play hero ball with a hurt foot. We forget he's not 100%. He is a little bit banged up. You take away weapons around him, that does not help. And then that run defense. I just talked about maybe the Jags don't have the best run game, but this is a spot where they could come alive and have a real balance on offense. Because we're talking about one of the worst run defenses in the NFL with the Bills. So I do like the Jags, and I had them in a teaser with the Packers. That's kind of shot to hell because the Packers are now the favorite, but I was going to put 240 to win 200. And I'll just take the Jags in general. I'll take the point. I do think they can win this one, despite the respect it sounds like we all do have for Josh Allen. How about the Niners and the Eagles? This was a game, fellas, that I went back and forth, fought with myself about, because 4.5 is a strange number. The Eagles are laying it at home. Total set at 45. After 3 straight weeks of 37-plus point games, the Niners lose to the Seahawks 13-3 in a game that determined the 1 seed. They had all the motivation in the world. They're getting healthier. So, RJ, how do you approach a game like this with a number like this?
Yeah, they're getting healthier in general, but didn't have Ricky Pearsall. And the big thing, they didn't have Trent Williams in that game. You know, we talk about who's the MVP between your guy Drake May and Matthew Stafford. I think the MVP is between Trent Williams and Lane Johnson, because we see those two offenses tanked once those guys left the field. And we know Lane Johnson's going to be back. I mean, we're pretty sure. I don't think it's confirmed, but everything's pointing that way. Hopeful Trent Williams will be too. It seemed like if the game was Sunday against the Seahawks, he might have been able to play. So that kind of bodes well for him in this game. Both these offenses need these guys to have success. So I'm counting on them both being back, and I wanted to look to play an over in this game because I think 4.5 is around the right spread. I'm going to put 100 on over 9.5 in the first quarter at -105. Taking that first quarter over helps reduce the risk of re-injury in the game for those guys, and I'm sure Shanahan's going to come out with something schemed early to take advantage of this Eagles defense and find the holes in it. So spread's a little high for me to take Philly, so I'm mostly just going to look to bet them live at the better number instead, because I think the line probably should be 5, maybe 4.5 is right. But that's the initial play I'm going to make in this game. Also going to take Jalen Hurts over 1.5 pass touchdowns plus 100, put 50 on that. He's gotten there in half his games, and the 49ers have allowed multiple pass touchdowns in 7 of their last 10. I expect him to get one early, and then I don't think that defense is going to shut him out the rest of the game.
All right, little prop action, and then getting in, getting out in that first quarter for RJ White. Larry, you're looking to get in and get out as well for this game.
Yeah, I'm playing the Eagles in the first half. I'm going to lay 2.5. I'm a little scared of the 4.5 because of the back door. But we talked about Pearsall and Trent Williams. What about the linebackers for the 49ers? They are decimated. They lost Bethune. They've already lost Warner. This is going to be a game where the tight ends and the running backs for the Philadelphia Eagles have a ton of success. This 49ers defense, they have just cratered 6 yards per play over the last 3 games, 370 yards per game they're giving up. So I'm going to take the Eagles to come out at home. We saw the numbers on Jalen Hurts, how incredible he's been at home. I love him to lead by 3 at the half. That's 100. Then another 100 on CMC under 61.5. It might surprise you to find out he has gone under this in 9 of 17 games. More than half the time, he ran 8 for 23 against a very good Seattle run defense. Now he takes on an Eagles defense that actually held James Cook very, very well under control. 3.7 yards per carry for James Cook. So I think they can hold CMC under 61.5, and that's another 100.
Will Brinson, thoughts on this game? Niners 7-2 on the road, 6-1 ATS over their last 7 games. Are you trying to pick a side here or going to look to the prop market?
I'm going to do the prop market, Claudia, and I think this is like from a holistic standpoint, this is a really interesting matchup because the Kyle Shanahan tree, didn't revolutionize football, but I mean, it changed. You get all these hires out there. You have all these guys running this, these deep shot plays off play action and things to try and design to get guys open across the middle of the field. And then enter Vic Fangio's defense kind of designed to counter it, right? And so this is from a schematic standpoint, this is a really interesting game of chess. I agree with Larry. I don't think Christian McCaffrey is going to run the ball very well, but I also don't think that Kyle Shanahan is going to try to come into this game and run the ball with Christian McCaffrey a ton. So I am going to, I can do whatever the hell I want, I guess, because it's my Brinson bucks. I'm going to ladder Christian McCaffrey receptions. We're going to start with $50 on 6 receptions at plus 110. We're going to, for those who don't know, when you build a ladder, you go bigger on the high, bigger on the low end, and then sprinkle up to the top. We're going to go $25 on 7 receptions at plus 198, $25 on 8 receptions at plus 350, and then $10 on 9 receptions at plus 580, and $10 on 10 receptions at plus 880. He's hit every number in this ladder at various points across the season. And you look back to last week playing the Seahawks, an elite defense capable of slowing them down on the ground. He gets 7 targets for 6 catches. I think there's a real chance that the game plan for the 49ers features Christian McCaffrey in the passing game early. And then if they can't slow down Philly's offense, they're going to have to dink and dunk a lot to keep pressure off Brock Purdy. We could see 10 plus receptions from McCaffrey in this game.
Will Brinson using his free will with that bankroll, going with the latter play. I don't love it laying the 4.5. I'm going to risk 110 to win 100, 210 payout on the Eagles. The way I think they win is in the trenches. Their defense sort of kept them afloat all season long, right? So we can give them an edge with the defense. But in the trenches, the Niners' pass rush has pretty much been non-existent. Myles Garrett had 3 more sacks than the team had themselves, one of the lowest pressure rates in the league. So I do think the Eagles can get what was an underwhelming passing game to start the season, finally found a little life towards the end of the season. It can get going. And then the run game going up against what's going to be, they already have 3 starting linebackers questionable or out, already a soft run defense. They can get Saquon Barkley going. On paper, healthy, the Eagles are, I think, the better team. I think they have the edge with the defense. So, again, not a number I love at 4.5. We're getting past that key number 3. A pivotal game like this, it's going to be tight. But I do think it will be enough with the edges that the Eagles do have. We're running through it. The wild card slate, RJ, Larry, Will Brinson, Caludia. We continue on the other side. And coming up, that man takes on the New England Patriots, the 2 seed, 14 wins. Drake May, you might have heard of him. We'll talk about it on the other side. Into primetime we go with the wild card games. RJ White, Will Brinson, Larry Hartstein, and Caludia Bellofatto with you. Here we go. Sunday Night Football. We've got the Chargers visiting the Patriots. The Patriots laying 3.5. The total set at 46. 8 p.m. kickoff. The first career playoff start for Drake May. It would be the first playoff win for Justin Herbert if he gets it done. It's really a weakness versus a weakness because the Patriots can't get pressure on the quarterback and the Chargers let a whole lot of pressure on that Justin Herbert. Let's come to you first, Larry Hartstein. How do you approach this game?
Well, you mentioned it is the first playoff start for Drake May, who had an incredible season. And the analytics guru, Cleve TA, pointed out that when you have a quarterback with playoff experience against one who doesn't have playoff experience and you take out rookies, they're 30-11 against the spread. That's pretty good for the Chargers. I just think 3.5 is too many here because you have the ingredients of a great coach, a great quarterback, and a very good defense. Jesse Minter's defense, they don't allow the deep throws, which is what the Patriots live on. They've allowed the second fewest explosives in all of football. So I think it's going to be a tight game. That's 100 for me on the Chargers plus 3.5. And I'm also going to put 100 on Travion Henderson under 52.5. Now, Ramondre Stevenson appears to have a late season rebirth. He's running better than he has in a long time. So that's going to limit Travion's carries. Also, the Chargers have given up 3.7 yards per carry over their last 3 games, number 4 in terms of rushing defense for the entire season. Travion could break one. We all know it. That's what he lives for. But he also could get stuffed a few times and then not get many carries. And I'm going to bet on this Chargers defense under 52.5.
Well, I hate the first play. To be completely honest, though, for those who have been with us all season long, I am clearly a Patriots fan. And to be honest, we bet numbers. You know, we're not betting with our hearts. We're betting with our minds. I see the 3.5. I know the Patriots' schedule has been an absolute cakewalk. I'm fully aware of that. They have not faced good defenses. So for that reason, I told myself I'm going to play the Chargers with the 3.5. I start to write it up, and everything's heading towards the Patriots. I understand the history. It's a first start for Drake May, all of that. Chargers, certainly the best defense they will face. They're great against the pass. I understand that. But even when they faced the Browns, for example, Drake May was sacked 6 times in that game, Myles Garrett and the Browns, they still won by margin. Somehow they're able to piece games together, and I know Justin Herbert's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but he hasn't played that well. Second half of the season, just one 300-yard game, 13 touchdowns to 7 picks over the last 9, a pick, at least 1 in 5 of the last 6 games. 0 help, as I mentioned off the top, from the offensive line, which doesn't help the run game, of course. Second to last in run block win rate. Justin Herbert has faced more pressures than anybody. He's been hit more than anybody, so that helps a Patriots pass rush that hasn't looked great. And Drake May is the most accurate quarterback in the league. I could go on. I'm going to talk about him later, so I'll save it. So I understand why people would look at the Chargers. But Justin Herbert hasn't been playing well. He hasn't played well in his career in the playoffs. 0-2, 52% completion, 2 touchdowns to 4 picks. I think it's going to be a sweat, but I can't force myself to bet the Chargers just because I like the number. I think it's a game that the Patriots can win by at least 4. Well, RJ, you're smart not taking a side here. You're looking at the total. RJ, talk to me.
Yeah, I probably am going to get there with the Chargers. I just want to keep an eye on that injury report, see who's going to be playing tackle. If it is Salyer and Pipkins on the outside, I'm probably going to go ahead and play the Chargers. I just don't want Bobby Hart to be on the field and have a chance to be a turnstile for that offensive line. I'm taking the under 46.5 for 100. One of the toughest defensive matchups New England's faced all year. You mentioned their schedule, particularly defensively. They have not faced a lot of tough defenses, and the Chargers have allowed 20 or less in 9 of their last 10. I keep on harping on taking team totals under against them and taking regular unders with them, just because I think it's a very strong defense that isn't getting enough credit for what Jesse Minter is doing. Jesse Minter, of course, being a head coach candidate for a lot of these openings that we're hearing about this week. New England's defense has allowed more than 23 points just 3 times all year. 4 of Mike Vrabel's 5 playoff games had 40 points or less. It seems to be an environment where he likes to get stuck in and get these really like low-scoring games and have his personality come out and just be a tough defensive battle. So I think that's what we're going to see here. I think 46.5 is pretty high for this matchup. So I'm going 100 on that. And then 50 on Justin Herbert over 28.5 rush yards. New England hasn't faced a lot of quarterbacks with rushing volume, but mobile quarterbacks have been mostly effective against them. Those 2 games they played Josh Allen, he had over 100 yards total. Herbert's gotten to 31 9 times, will be fresh after his rest week here. And the Chargers offensive line, if it does struggle, he's going to have him scrambling for yards. And I think he's going to pick up some first downs with his legs. So I like Herbert's over 28.5 rush yards, 450, and then the under is my main play.
All right, well, I know you're looking at the under as well. Some notable guys coming back for the Patriots on defense that I wanted to mention. Their leading tackler, Robert Spillane, is expected back. Tonga, their best run defender, is expected back. Harold Landry and Milton Williams, big for that pass rush, also expected back, which could help your under.
Yeah, I was actually spending most of my time while you guys were talking looking at the Patriots schedule and laughing. Because, this is a freaking joke.
You know what, Will? I said that, so you don't need to say it again.
I will point out, Claudia, that somehow in the last 2 weeks, the number of playoff teams that they faced has increased, has doubled. It has gone from, well, actually, I guess it's triple technically because they played the Bills twice. They played the Bills, they played the Steelers, and they played the Panthers, who are arguably the worst playoff team that we've seen in a long time. So good for the Patriots. Much beefier schedule. Definitely Drake May for MVP.
Oh, can I just really quick. You want to know the mutual games that May and Stafford both have? You know who went 6-0? May. Stafford went 4-2. You know who had half of the interceptions? Drake May. Continue. Thank you.
Yeah, just out of curiosity, did they play the Seahawks twice or the 49ers twice, or did they play the Dolphins and the Jets twice?
Doesn't matter. Common opponents we're talking, Will Brinson. Go ahead.
Anywho, this is my favorite recurring weekly bit. Look, I do think what RJ pointed out about Mike Vrabel's personality coming out in these playoff games is 100% accurate. And you know who's on the other side that is basically the same type of dude that wants to just grind out a playoff win by pounding the football and not allowing the quarterback to make mistakes, keep the pressure off, no turnovers. That is the key. That's the thing they're going to be harping on. You're going to have a couple of, sneaky trick plays here and there, maybe in this game, but I think this is a ball control specialty game. You're not going to take a ton of shots down the field because that requires your quarterback to be exposed for a little bit, particularly on the Chargers side. And I think Mike Vrabel and Jim Harbaugh are going to just turn this into a rock fight. I frankly, when I saw the number, was shocked that it's 46.5. I think it should be closer to like 43.5, maybe 44.5 at most. And we're getting some really good value on the under here. Drake May, first time in the playoffs. Look, the reality is, you can be as great a quarterback as you could be the MVP your second year. You're still playing in your first playoff game, and that is going to change things a bit. Even back in college, Drake May didn't win a ton of big games, if we're being perfectly honest. I think he's fully capable of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I think Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels will maximize their ability to protect him and how they orchestrate that offense. They're not going to come out guns blazing against a good Chargers defense. I think Jim Harbaugh will want to protect Justin Herbert as well. That's why he sat him out last week. And so I just think we see, we could be under 30 in this game easily. I'm frankly shocked by the number.